So, Chris, thank you for taking the time to have this conversation about this amazing video that this team and Margarita Levieva have created. This is your first video from Traveler, and why this song and why this story?
That's a good question. I don't know, other than it just kind of came in my head as something to do. Like and even trying to get a hold of Ben, who I didn't know at all. You know, it was the song is kind of about loving somebody unconditionally through not so easy times, and the concept of the video kind of came to me as that would be the hardest possible space in which to love somebody. And so I've been a huge fan of Ben's for a long time, and so we tried to track him down, and he was kind enough to take the phone call, and then it kind of grew from there.
The topic, suicide, that's a very difficult, painful for anyone to talk about. What was it like? How did that happen when you started to think about, okay, that's what this song, that's what this video can be about?
Well, the folks at the label kept asking me to, like, we need a video for something, and they're very kind with me because they know I'm a weirdo and like have my own way of doing things. And so eventually I was putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and so we're in a big conference room at a record label at a really long table, and everybody's going, well, what kind of video do we want to do? And until finally they kept asking enough, and I just spouted out basically the treatment for this video, and everybody just looked at me like I had three heads, like it was the craziest thing. I didn't want to be in the video. I wanted to make it about this uncomfortable subject, and I wanted to get, you know, real actors and not spend a lot of time of, you know, making it a promo video for me. And that was how I wanted to make a video, because I felt like that was more artful and meaningful on the back end. That is the thing. It was just a notion, and then it became real and useful, and something that hopefully can make the world a better place through putting the notion out into the world.
All that I'll say is far away.
Like I said, anytime that you can create a little film out of something, you know, as beautiful as this and as dark as this, and, you know, the song had so much there already that we could build upon, and then the three of us just did that together. Four of us, I should say.
When I first got the call about the video, I was immediately drawn to it because, I mean, it's funny because I'm actually a dancer, and I've never been in a music video, and I always wanted to be in one. And so my own fantasy of like what a music video for me would be like, I thought I would get to dance and like do all this fun stuff. So when I first got the call about this video, and I heard that it was a music video, I was really interested and curious. And then I heard the subject matter and the story, and it's a subject matter that is very close to me and means a lot to me. And to be able to tell that story and to share it with so many people and to bring that character to life for me was tremendously important. So as soon as I heard the whole outline and how we were going to shoot it and the story that we're going to tell, I was immediately drawn and really looking forward to doing it.
What would be the worst circumstance? And a policeman starting his life with his true love, and he can't police his home. He can't save it. It's beyond that big four-letter word, love.
How Ben's character would be dealing with her. You know, he's trying to rescue her time and time again, and then the one time he can't rescue her is the time it really mattered, I guess. It was the the perspective of who was left behind, you know, the perspective of people on on the peripheries, I guess, of someone who's going through that.
Those that have attempted suicide and have not succeeded have often said, I didn't want to die, I just wanted the suffering to stop. Those that are, and I don't use this word with any joy, successful in the act of taking their own life, I think lose perspective of those that they have left behind. In many ways, of that their life it didn't have meaning, or they didn't matter anymore, or the world would be a better place without them there. All of these false truths that we, or those that are sick, can adopt, can blind us to the realities that we do matter. Each and every one of us matter, and we have an effect on so many people. Hopefully this video, it's not about whose character it's about, it's how are we all connected.
And that, you know, as I've been listening again to Traveler, getting ready for this conversation, one of the things that I love so much about it is your music, it creates such powerful images of experiences that everybody has.
Yeah, no, I think music and videos and anything that's creative is meant to connect people in ways, however that is achieved. And you know, when we were speaking to Ben on the phone, I had the notion of letting proceeds or somehow involving a mental health charity. I didn't have one. And literally we got on the phone with Ben, and he was like, well, I've been working with this charity, and it just seems like one of those universe things, you know, just like the right thing to do. Or and I don't know that I necessarily knew what I was putting out into the world necessarily as an idea, other than I had this small piece of it that I could go, here, I have this as a notion. And then I hand that over to Tim and bring Ben in and everybody else, and then you come in, and then it becomes what we're talking about now. So it really, I don't know that I had as much to offer to it other than just a notion of something, and then that notion became a good thing.
That's beautiful.